Okay, so I've seen people talk about the reasons why they can't enjoy MMOs anymore, but I'm going to explain to you exactly why MMOs are trash. All MMOs suck. Most of them are automatic combat. And if you played one MMO with automatic combat, you've played them all. Because all you have to do in an MMO, similar to RuneScape, similar to what was that one Star Wars game? Right? Similar to all these different MMOs. When you have automatic combat, meaning that you click a target and then it starts auto attacking. And then you press abilities. And the enemies, and then your abilities either automatically hit the enemy or automatically go to the mouse. Whenever you've played MMOs set up in that fashion, you have literally played every single MMO. That is the literal reason why all of them suck. This is the literal reason why no one can enjoy them anymore. This is all the exact same thing. And that's not where it really gets bad. It's where you go to the story. Many of these MMOs, their stories are all side quests. You just go to an area, kill 10 of these, go back to mission is done. Even Black Desert was set up like that. That's why the game died so quickly. Because it had a little bit too much content thrown in there. If they had just taken out, let me describe to you what would make a better MMO. If you took maybe, let's say, Mortal Kombat. If you took Mortal Kombat's level of combat and you dropped that into Black Desert, and then you took out all of its grinding, you made these simple systems. You keep their trading system, because Black Desert has the best trading system in pretty much any game. Right? You keep their market and all of that, right? But you take out all their missions. And you make every mission be a character's mission. So if you pick an archer, well, you're gonna get all the archer's missions. If you pick the wolf, then you're gonna get the wolf missions. If you pick the ninja missions, you're gonna get the ninja missions. Right? And then have specific missions that everyone does that's connected to each class. So you're always going to run by an archer eventually if you're doing the mage missions. You're always going to run by a warrior eventually if you're doing the some other class, the berserker class. You're always going to run by them. Because at a certain point you're going to need to interact with them or you'll see them doing their missions. Then, if they had PvP, right? And stop making this PvP where people just one-shot each other. Make PvP with Mortal Kombat level combat. Except guess what? Your armor has scaling. So you're encouraged to go and upgrade armor. And Injustice 2 actually has some of the best armor scaling. They could literally just copy and paste that into any MMO. Well, not any MMO. Into this MMO that I'm theoretically making up. Right? And then boom, you would automatically have an MMO that is better than every single MMO you all have ever played, except Vindictus. Vindictus is the only MMO I ever played that had every area of the game both functional and every purpose was useful from early game to late game. The way that Vindictus was set up, the scaling was so good on launch. Like the first 2 years of Vindictus, the scaling was so good on launch. You could go and get level 15 gear. Level up your level 15 gear to max. And it would be at the level of like level 40 gear. So if you couldn't pay for things, but you were really good at the game, you could still grind it out. It would just be like you had to spend an hour. You had to get a friend to help you. Or you could play through with all the newer people and just play the game the best in the match. Which meant that you dodged abilities, you blocked, and this isn't just me throwing out keywords like dodge and block. No, Vindictus had real-time dodging, real-time blocking. They had a clash system where if enemies attacked, you could grab at the right second and stop the boss from attacking. This came in handy when you're playing with weaker players. Like, Vindictus is literally the only actual MMO that I had played my entire life. And I've played a lot of MMOs. I've played some Final Fantasy games that were not MMOs. But you know that one open world one? That last one that came out, they were supposed to be like, oh, you're supposed to play with friends, blah, blah, blah. And they have that stupid car in the game that you can't make go any faster. That one was basically an MMO, and it's fucking dog shit. I've played RuneScape. I've tried World of Warcraft. Not only for like a day. It was terrible. I've played so many. What was that one? Wild Stars? I played so many MMOs. They're all fucking trash. And I'm about to give you guys the cookie cutter answer that people are passing around as to why MMOs are bad. This is not why MMOs are bad. This is why they are boring. MMOs are bad because there has literally been no innovation at all. And every time there is innovation, Vindictus and Black Desert, the only two MMOs that actually innovated. The reason I don't say things like Blade and Soul, I played that. The reason I don't say things like Perfect World. The reason I don't say things like Continent of the Ninth is because all those games copied the exact same form of, okay, do the ability, alright, ability auto locks, or you click in this location and the ability happens. And then at a certain point you can just tank damage, and you just one-shot everything. Right? That's the reason I don't say all the MMOs I play, because they all are the same MMO. But back to what I was saying, it's so bad that every MMO follows that same fucking business model for combat. If y'all took one game, right, like, hold up. Y'all know why Tower of Fantasy is actually doing pretty well? It's doing reasonably well? Because they did the one thing that all these MMOs should have done. Add a real fucking combat system that has about, I think, 2 levels of depth. Hold on, let me show y'all that I got this game downloaded right now. Tower of Fantasy right here. Tower of Fantasy right here. I have actually played it. This game is very similar to Devil May Cry. But back to what I'm saying. The reason Tower of Fantasy is doing so well right now is they've done the one thing that every MMO should have done. Make a real combat system. That's the number one thing. Because I'm pretty sure people would play a Tekken MMO. I'm pretty sure people would play a God of War MMO. So they made a real combat system. For Tower of Fantasy, you just heard someone scream. I don't know who that was. Hopefully, you're not getting killed. I've heard that before, but I'm not gonna go depth in that. But anyways, so the thing is, the point that I'm getting at here is all of these games follow the exact same business model of combat. And then they try to innovate in like the crafting system. But guess what? No one cares about the crafting system. And then they try to innovate in like their pet taming system. But guess what? No one cares about the pet taming system. And that's the main reason all these MMOs are not enjoyable anymore. Let's take this letter and put it right here. Right? They're not enjoyable anymore, bro. He's saying that he doesn't enjoy it. I know this whole video is about his opinion, but the argument that he's using,
Someone said to me,
the argument that he's using is very cookie cutter. Tons of people have used this same argument. And I'm gonna play his video now. I'm gonna play it. You can listen
Someone
to
said
it.
to me that they don't enjoy MMORPGs anymore. They don't enjoy them as much as they used to when they were a kid. And I said, okay, whatever game you played when you were a kid, how long did you play it for? And they're like, oh, hours. Every day after school, come home, hours invested into it. I knew all the NPCs, I knew all the shortcuts, I knew how to kill all the bosses, I knew all the little in-jokes. Okay, cool. And how long have you played this new game that you're trying to recapture that magic with? Day or two. Sometimes if you invest a lot of time into something, you form a connection with it. Not necessarily parasitic, not even necessarily Stockholm Syndrome. Sometimes it is a genuine, loving, deep connection, even with a game.
Hold up. Before I go further, everyone uses this exact same talking point. They say, oh, I played it with friends, so I enjoyed it with friends. That's the connection. They say, oh, there was always updates, so I was waiting for updates. That's the connection. This is the exact same talking point. And everyone's just saying this exact same talking point. The reason why MMOs are not enjoyable for you guys anymore is because they've always been dog shit. How do you play RuneScape? You click, then you press the ability. How do you play Black Desert? Well, you use the arrow keys, then you click, you press the ability. How do you play World of Warcraft? Well, you click, you press the ability. How do you, like, you can literally go down a long ass list. How do you play Perfect World? Well, you press the arrow keys, then you click and you press the ability. Like all of these fucking games are the exact same game. That's why when you play one of them as a kid, and then you go to the next one, it's because you're automatically seeing the similarities, and you're like, okay, I don't feel like playing the exact same game I played when I was a kid over again. And then, you know what happens? Y'all go to another game, because other games are better. This whole argument, this whole talking point that he's making is so annoying to hear it over and over again.
And you have that and you enjoy that and no one can take that away from you. And then when a new MMO comes along and you jump in and you play, you're almost expecting that game to have the emotional depth and connection and complexity and richness that you've spent years forming in another one. Imagine if you have a fantastic relationship and then the relationship ends for whatever reason, either good or bad, and then you start a relationship with someone else. You won't have all those little quirks. You won't have the same love language. You won't have the same connection to that new person because you haven't spent enough time with them to build it up. Sometimes when people say, oh, I had my most amazing MMORPG ever as a child and now I'm just jumping from MMO to MMO, you sometimes aren't giving those new games enough time, enough chance to form the same emotional connection that you had with an old game.
I'm sorry, I'm just tired of this talking point. It's so stupid. It's actually so stupid. I don't play Tekken and then not give Street Fighter a chance because I'm not giving it a chance. No, I've played all of the fighting games Tekken, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter. What's that one? Dead or Alive. Uh, I played pretty much all of them. Mortal Kombat. I played pretty much all of the fighting games. Blaze Blue. What was that new Dragon Ball Z game? But I've played pretty much all of the fighting games. And I would say that none of them are bad. And you know why? Because yes, they're all fighting games. But every single one of them uses the same base of, okay, I move back and forth, or I move on a 3D plane. Then, to fight, I have a 1-2-3 combination. Then I can have a 2-1-3-2 combination. Then I can have a 2-3, and this character has a 4 combination. But when you're playing freaking MMOs, it's all the exact same thing. Okay, we click, and then we're automatically attacking. And then I press either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. Oh, this game has the same ability from another game, where it's just an area that you get attacked in. And the thing that really sticks it to the reason why y'all don't like MMOs anymore is that they do not balance the fucking games. They always make mages too strong. They always make archers too strong. And then they make tanks too tanky. Then they do this, then they do that, then they do this. And then they add a paywall. So okay, if you want your archer to be stronger than tanks, just pay us $10 every day for the next year. And then someone says, alright, and drops $1,000 on the game. And then now they're good at the game because they paid to be good at the game. Like that, like everything that I'm talking about, that's why MMOs aren't fun anymore. And I'm gonna show you one example. Path of Exile. Path of Exile, right? Let me look at some gameplay of Path of Exile real quick. This is just for some
For the
gameplay.
gauntlet, and just
Look
as
at this
a fun
gameplay of Path
concept
of
because I do know a
Exile.
lot of people try to judge a
Look at this gameplay. This is the gameplay, right? Now I'm about to show y'all.
When I had a deal, man.
I'm about to show y'all a type of game. Hold up, I gotta look at what the name of this game is real quick. This is gonna take like 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this game real quick. This game right here, right? Gotta see some gameplay real quick. Oh god dang, this is talking about the abilities. The game is too easy, you really don't need a video breakdown. Okay, so let me show you. Path of Exile, right? This game. Path of Exile. Look at this video. Alright? Now look at this game. It is the exact same game. So here's a valid question. Does this even exist? does this even exist? Or did they just come here, make a demo of this, upgrade the graphics a little bit, and then say, hey, let's try and get more people to care about the game? Because this game right here, and all the games that are just like this one, are literally Path of Exile, but actually better. All you have to do to make this Path of Exile is drop it in the Path of Exile and give it the map, and then you could walk around doing this exact same thing in the Path of Exile world. Because this is normally how I feel when I'm playing Path of Exile. This is why I don't like playing it that much. I was excited for them to come out with Path of Exile 2, but apparently they were just taking notes from Cyberpunk. Right? They're just gonna wait a long time. Wasn't it like 2018? And they said they were gonna come out with Path of Exile 2 eventually. Now it's 2024. Like, the reason why MMOs are not good, or not enjoyable, etc., is not because of your experience with it. It's literally because of shit like this, where this exists. They're willing to lie to you and hype you up with this. Meanwhile, people have made like 100 mobile games of this game. Of this, whatever this game format is called. Personally, I just think it's Path of Exile without dungeons. But it's like, literally, that is the reason why people don't enjoy MMOs anymore. It's not because of this stupid cookie cutter argument about why people don't like MMOs. Oh, well, it's because your friends aren't there. Oh, it's
game that you're trying to recapture that magic with.
It's just so stupid to use that argument over and over and over as if it's actually true. I literally just showed you and talked about literally every reason why MMOs are fucking dog shit and not enjoyable.